everyone, I'm Brooke, and today I'm going to be talking about my June haul, my June wrap-up, and my July TBR. Because, to be honest, I did not read a whole lot of books in June. Unfortunately, I kind of got into a slump that I'm still working my way out of, and I also did not buy a bunch of books. So, I didn't really get to everything that I set to read. So let's just get straight into it, starting with my haul. So if you watch my unboxing, you know some of the books that I got this month, and I actually got reading one of these. The first book that I got was The Elite by Kiera Cass, which is the second book in the Selection series, and last month I read the first book, The Selection, and I loved it, gave it 5 out of 5 stars, I think, and I actually did get to reading this one this month, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, and I'm not going to go talk too much about the Selection series because once I finish the third one, which I'm in the process of reading, I'm going to do a whole Selection talk about the series. So obviously this is the third book that I got was the second book that I got was the third book in the Selection series called The One, and I'm currently almost done with it, and it's okay so far. I'm not really like in love with it. America's really kind of getting on my nerves, but like I said, I'm not going to go too much into this because I'm going to put a whole book talk about the Selection series, my thoughts and opinions, and it's just going to be going over the first 3 books because the last 2 books don't follow America as the main character. Like, that was in a trilogy, and this is kind of like a continuation, sort of, with, I don't want to give any spoilers, so with other characters. So, my book talk is going to be with those 3 books. But I also got The Crown and the Heir by Kiera Cass this month. And also, by Kiera Cass, I got The Siren, and I got that one. I got all the other ones because I was just on a Kiera Cass kick. And let's see, I went to this really awesome bookstore in my town, and I got The Lion Game by Sarah Shepard. I love the Pretty Little Liars series until it got really like long and confusing, and I read like the first 8 books, but then I just kind of like dropped off. But The Lion Game, I don't think this has as many books, and I really want to see if I like it because I liked her Perfectionists series, so I just want to see how this is going to go. And also from that same store, I got Fall into Darkness by Christopher Pike, and if you don't know, Christopher Pike is one of my favorite authors. He writes beautiful, suspenseful thriller books, and if you haven't read a Christopher Pike book, then I totally recommend that you pick one up now. And I got 2 more books in June, and I got The Juliet Spell by Douglas Rees, and what this is this girl is trying out for Romeo and Juliet, and she didn't get the part, and she ends up bringing Shakespeare's little brother to life, which it just sounded really interesting when I was reading the back, so I was like, why not? And finally, the last book that I got actually not the last book, but the most recent book that I bought is The May Queen Murders by Sarah Jude, and this is about, 20 years earlier, the May Queen got murdered, and then stuff starts going down when the May Queen, 20 years later, goes missing. And I almost forgot this, I'm so sorry, but the final books that I got this month is I got the Percy Jackson series box set, and yeah, that was exciting. So that's all for my haul for this month. And for my June wrap up, I only read like 3.5 books because I hit a major slump. The first book I read, I'm sorry, I'm lazy, I don't feel like getting the books, is We Are Liars by E. Lockhart, and I kind of have a love-hate relationship with that book. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, and I'm not going to go too deep into it because I did a full book review, which I will be linking below if you want to check that out. And the second book that I read is A Study in Charlotte, which I also did a full book review, and I'll link that below, but I absolutely love that book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and I would totally recommend you read it. It's the first book in a trilogy, if you didn't know. And the third book, and the last book that I've actually completed in June, was The Elite by Kiera Cass, and I enjoyed that book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and the book that I have not quite finished that I put Fallen Angel and the first Percy Jackson book on hold for so I could read this book, is the one by Kiera Cass, and I put my other 2 books on my June TBR on hold because I was so excited about this series that I wanted to keep going, and I'm not loving this so far, like I said earlier, but that's another video. So that's it for my wrap up. June was not a good month. Not a good reading month for me. It just really wasn't. And finally, for my July TBR, I am going to obviously finish the one, and then I think I'm going to put the Slick'em series on hold for a little bit. I don't want to read the 4th and 5th books quite yet. And then I'm going to finish my June TBR. I'm going to read Fallen Angel by David Lamore, and I'm going to read, The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. I'm going to read that book. That's one of my next books on my list. And the other books that I would like to read this month is Party Games by R.L. Stine, and it's a Fear Street novel, and if you have not heard of Fear Street, you totally need to check it out. It's wonderful. I think this is one of the newest additions to Fear Street, because most of the Fear Street books were written like back in the 90s, but this is the new one, and I'm really excited to read it. And another book that I want to read this month is Down with the Shine by Kate Carius Quinn, and it just sounds really interesting. It's talking about moonshine and magic, and it sounds cool, so I want to read that as well. And I also want to read Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, which is the first book in the Miss Peregrine's series, and I think it's a trilogy, and I'm kind of excited to get to this. Yeah, and then the final book that I want to read in July is the second book in the Percy Jackson series, which is, Sea of Monsters, and I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to read all of these books because I'm actually going on vacation towards the end of this month, and I'm really hoping I'm going to be able to get to read a lot of books on vacation. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed it, and just let me know what you think. Have you read any of these books? Should I move some of the books on my TBR up and down places? I want to know what you guys think, so let me know. And until the next video, bye guys. Library. Little movie girl Haley is talking mad crap. Like, I was like,